Okay, this is the last part of 3.3. This is part C. And we're going to be evaluating with positive and negative numbers. So, do we remember how to evaluate or what evaluate means? So, remember that means to plug in. All right? So, let's see. So they want you to evaluate x minus 6 when x equals 8. So all you're going to do is take the 8 and plug it in for x. So take the x out and plug in the 8. And this is just 8 minus 6, just a regular 8 minus 6, which is 2. That's it, you're done. But what happens when I use a negative number? Same x minus 6, but x is now negative 8. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to plug the negative 8 in for x, but you know I'm going to get a different answer because instead of a positive 8, it's a negative 8. So, negative 8 minus 6, or negative 8 plus a minus 6. So you know when you have a negative, we're putting them together. It's a negative 8 and a negative 6. We're just adding them together. So what's negative 8 plus negative 6? It is negative 14. How was that? Looking for another example of evaluate. Okay. Let me do another example of evaluate. Okay, so I want to evaluate 8 minus y when y is negative 3. So I'm punching this negative 3 in here for y. Now notice there's a negative in front of it, so it's going to be a minus minus 3, right? So negative 3 is just going in place of y. So I've got 8 minus, this is this minus, and then minus 3. So that minus comes down, but y also has a minus with it. It's negative 3. So I've got 8 minus a minus 3. I've got a double negative, which means the two negatives together make it positive. So it's 8 plus 3, which is positive 11. How was that? And the last part of this section is translating from English to math with some negatives. Oh, you know what? Let me put this one in the calculator for you. Let's put this one. This 8 minus minus. I don't think I did one of those yet. Okay, so 8 minus or subtract, and if you want to put parentheses in, you can, or you don't have to. Let me do, for people that don't want to put one in, it's a -3, so I need negative, which is next to the enter, 3. Let's see if it's going to take that, and I'm going to put enter. So it is 11. And we should get the same thing if we put the parentheses around the negative, if you want to do it that way. Up above the 8 is one side of the parentheses, a -3, and then close it up above the 9. So either way you want to do it, we're going to get 11, with parentheses or without. Okay. So let's translate. Let's see. This is the last part of the section. Okay, so here's my first example, and you might need to go back and look at the key words if that's helpful. Okay, so they want us to take and write in math the difference of -8 and 9. Okay, so remember from, I believe it was chapter 1, when I went over all of the different words, keywords, and what they mean in math. So do we remember difference means to subtract? And we're just going to go left to right on this. So the difference of -8 and 9 would be -8 minus 9. That's it. And sometimes on the homework, they're going to have you complete the problem and work it out. So it might say simplify and so remember, when I have a -8 and a -9, I've got a negative and a negative. We're going to add them together, right? So what's -8 plus -9? My answer is -17. Sometimes they just want this piece here, the math part, but then they might, I'm just prepping you for if they make you work out the full problem. Okay, so whenever you see difference, you're going to subtract. Let me do one more. Whoops. Subtract -20 from 50. Okay, now keyword here, subtract from. Okay, now it's going to be different from the difference. Difference, you just go left to right, but subtract from, the order will be different. Let me write that on here. Order will be different. Since I'm subtracting -20 from 50, I'm taking away from 50 the 50 is going to go first. So subtract negative 20 from 50. So it's going to be 50 minus a negative 20. See, I'm taking this negative 20 and I'm subtracting it from 50. So whenever you see subtract from or less than, it's going to be, the order will be different. So the 50 comes up front first, and then we're going to subtract minus 20. Now we look and see, well, what's going on here? We've got the double negative, right? And what does that mean to do? That just means 50 plus 20. And I'm just going ahead in case they ask you to simplify. What's 50 plus 20? 50 plus 20, let me add down for you. So 50 plus 20 is just 70. And that's my final answer. So remember difference, you're just going left to right. Difference means to subtract, so we're just writing the numbers as they appear. But when you have a subtract from, you have to put the second number first because we're subtracting from this second number of 50. So try your homework. I know that was a lot in one section. Try your homework. There's going to be problems from all the different types of things I did. And always, if you need help, send me an email, let me know. The next video will be 3.4, and I think it's a lot easier. So I'm going to 3.4 next.